stroke of my perspective. Like, share, and subscribe.
A different stroke. A different stroke. Started out of nowhere. A different stroke. Started out of nowhere.
Welcome to A Different Stroke, where each stroke tells a different story. I'm Eric, stroke survivor. Survivor, when was that moment you looked into the mirror and had a reality check? For me, I had my stroke December 31st, 2023, which was New Year's Eve. I remember having plans to go out and celebrate with some friends, my wife, and we were just going to go hang out and bring in a New Year toast for the New Year. Not only were we celebrating the New Year, we celebrating, for me personally, a personal thing. I had took on to a new role in the company for the new year. It was gonna have I was gonna have a bigger role in the company. It came with a bigger, more responsibility, but it also came with more money, which that's what I was looking forward to. Now at the time, I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I was looking forward to the bigger role and the more money, of course. But New Year's Eve, as I'm getting ready to go out and celebrate that night, it's when I had my stroke. Now, fast forward to that is that everything from the time I had my stroke till I started recovering, everything was a blur to me. It was kind of foggy. But I remember this particular day that a nurse came in, occupational therapist nurse, into the hospital. I remember being in ICU and being transferred to like recovery center, the recovery part of the hospital. And the nurse came in and wheeled me to the restroom to brush my teeth. I remember struggling to put toothpaste on my toothbrush. And it was at that time I looked in the mirror and realized this wasn't a part of my plan, especially going into the new year. My plan was so much bigger than this. Like, where did this come from? I was blindsided. I was not prepared for this mentally, financially, or emotionally. And at that time, I still didn't realize what was I experiencing at the moment. But I remember looking into the mirror and saying, man, I was looking forward to start my career and making more money. And just looking forward to the new year, I had big plans and big hopes. And I was suddenly blindsided by this. I was not prepared for it. But in that moment, I looked in the mirror, dealing with the man in the mirror. It's like, okay, this is where I'm at now. What do I need to do to get better? And how long this process going to take? Will I even be able to get the chance to go to work again? I was committed to that job. I was looking forward to that. So it took me the longest time that probably when one of my first set of depression had kicked in, because it was like, what was I doing? What was I not doing? What did I do to deserve this moment? You know, when you turn a corner for something and you kind of working hard for something and you suddenly feel like everything that you plan for, everything you hope for, everything you dream for was finally starting to come to light. Like you were starting to feel it, like this about to happen. This is actually going the way I planned it. And everything that I planned for, worked for, was coming to light. And then this happened. Man, when I tell you the reality check in that, it was like, what did I do to deserve this? How did I not see this? I wasn't prepared for it or nothing. But at that moment, you really have to navigate and say, how do I navigate from here, moving forward? what do I need to do here? Start now. And that was the hardest question that lived in my head for the longest. And even sometimes now I still had it. I still think about that. And come to terms with saying, I believe that I was so comfortable of the man I was and wasn't committed to the man I was supposed to be. So that's when the reality check hit me. I was not living in my purpose. I was still chasing money. I wasn't chasing my purpose. And if this stroke was part of me to say, I need you to kind of self-evaluate and kind of figure things out and sort out your purpose. Even though I wasn't really accepting of that, I wasn't comfortable with that, because for me, everything was finally starting to work itself out. It was hard for me to digest that. And some days I still think about the opportunity I missed and my life being put on hold. It's been almost roughly 3 years right now. And I still think about that. So with that reality check, it was making me say, I have to learn to deal with who I am right now, the man I'm becoming. Because for the longest time, I felt like when I first had my stroke, I felt like I was a stranger in my own story. I didn't know this version of myself. But now that I am kind of dealing with it and getting better at it, it's like it's teaching me a level of resilience and seeing how strong I am. And it's also making me activate in my purpose. It's not about the money no more. It's really about my purpose. Because if I'm being honest, even though I would have had a bigger role, a bigger responsibility, and made more money, I still was not in a position to manage my money financially. I still would have been working myself even more, neglecting the things that was important to me for my job, for money. And I wasn't disciplined enough. I still probably would have been living from paycheck to paycheck. It wasn't the more money you made, it was how I managed the money. So that was the reality check for me. It's like I had to come to terms and say, maybe things worked out the way it was supposed to work out. I scratched my head. I still wonder that, but maybe that's the reality check. Now it's about me manifesting and putting things in work, activating in my purpose. I had to get to know the man I'm becoming. I don't want to be a stranger in my own story. And like I always like to end on a positive perspective. The positive perspective is things are more rewarding when you have to break a sweat to get it. Things are more rewarding when you have to break a sweat to get it. So keep fighting, survivors. Keep fighting. Stay motivated.
It's happening to younger people. Happening to younger people. It's happening to younger people. Happening to younger people. The road to recovery is different for everyone. A different stroke. The road to recovery is different for everyone. A different stroke. The road to recovery is different for everyone. A different stroke. The road to recovery is different for everyone. A different stroke.